Right, here we go. Just check everything is working, and we are ready. Just check the audio works, which it does. Right, morning everyone. Welcome to the River Thames. What is it today? 14th of December, I think it's something like that. It's Sunday. I'm on the River Thames. I'm on a Sutton Courtenay Angling Club club match. We're fishing a stretch called Cullum Reach today. The river is in flood. It's coming up and it's really flowing. However, I've drawn a peg with a slack on the inside. I've got a tree to the left and tree to the right. Tree to the left, tree to the right. I've got some slack water in front of me, and I'm going to fish the pole feeder at 10.5 meters. That's the plan. That is the plan. Target fish today is bream. That's what I'm looking to catch. Might pick up a chub, and if I struggle with that, then I might scale down my rig and look for some roach. But that's pretty much the approach today, and I'm really looking forward to it. Side tray, we'll just quickly go over that. I've got some ground bait, because I'm going to need that for the pole feeder. Live maggots, pinky, some hemp, some dead maggots casters. I've got some worm for hooking and for chopping, and I've got some corn. Excuse me. Right, let's just get the rig sorted out, because I'm not quite ready. The match starts in a few minutes. Right, and I will just quickly go over the rig. We're fishing a pole feeder, in case you've never seen it before. It's pretty simple. Let's go through the bits. Black hydro, tied to 8-pound dial ST. I've got a length of line that forms like a loop, as you can see. I've got a piece of pink hydro in between it. I'll explain what that's for later. Then as you go down the rig, the components are, well, that's it really. Then I've got a long length of line. Get my rig caught on a stick already. Long length of line coming all the way down to here, to a Guru speed bead, quick link swivel, free running, 40 gram feeder, so I don't need too much today, and a quick change bead. I'm going to put a hook length. And the way the rig works is, when it's out in the river, when the fish pulls, it pulls on that pink hydro. I don't know if you can see that, you probably can't, but the pink hydro will stretch. I will feel the bite, and then when I strike through the pink hydro, as it were. So it's just 8-pound ST to the black hydro, and then I'm playing the fish on a very heavy rig. That's the plan. That's how it works. I have got a video about it, and I need to do a new one. Now I've fished it a little bit more, and I'm a little bit more refined than I was. But that's the rig. Going to put a hook length on now, which is going to be 0.17, 3 foot, size 12, to a MWGB, which is my favourite bream hook for the river in hit for these bream in this river. Sorry. And we will be away. Match starts at 10, so I've got 6 minutes. Morning, Steve. Right, we'll just put that on there with a little pin. Stick my finger in that other hook, thanks. Then I've got some alternative, some 0.15 hook lengths. Again, what, 3 foot, just over or something, 16, and that's an MWGB2. And I can scale down even more, but I don't really want to today. There's 14, 15 of us fishing maybe. Every peg is a jackpot peg, because it's the end of our year, as it were, and it's going to be great. So effectively, what happens is that feeder hits the bottom, and that length of line comes out in the flow, and I'm going to fish worm on the hook, double dendrobina. Let's see what I can catch. I'm going to board it to start, which is what I should think about, not putting a hook length on it yet. And yeah. Other part of the rig is this little puller clip up, whatever you want to call it. I put on with some electrical tape. So in order to be able to ship this out, you just fold it over there, or just hang it off of there, ship it out, and then you just turn the pole and it comes down. Otherwise the feeder goes straight into the water and you lose all your ground bait. And really that should be a little bit higher, but we'll see how we go. It's a bit close. Normally I like it to dangle a little bit further down than that, but let's see. Oh my god, shall I move it now? I'm going to move that now. Just move it a bit further up. Doesn't need to look pretty, it needs to be functional. And there we go, that's the rig. Fishing on top 5 today, and I've got a nice long landing net with me. Hopefully I can just get this through the trees. While I put some balls of ground bait in. Morning private. Let's see how we get on. Right, ground bait. I've got 10 balls, 250ml of caster, 250ml of dead maggot, and 250ml of hemp. So 750ml of bait in total across that lot. And that's all going to go in at the start. 10 balls, slightly to the left of in front of me. I'm going to put the feeder on the same sort of spot, and hopefully that bait would have gone slightly to the left, which is where that hook bait will settle. That is the plan. But, first time I fished a pole feeder this season, so I've not done it for a year. I'm going to make all the excuses I need to now that I'm out of practice. And it'll get better next time I do it in a few weeks' time. Alright. Let's give those balls a little extra squeeze. My leggings on today. That might be a bad sign, but I was hoping that was going to bring me some luck. You know, don't put my leggings on, catch a bream, slime everywhere. You know, it could only be, you know, it could be 1 fish, 2 fish win the match today. It could be really hard. I had thought about fishing a flat float. I did make up some rigs. That church is dinging 10 o'clock behind me, so our match should start. I'm going to wait for the hooter though. There we go. Right. Yeah, that should be. So 10 balls in. Slightly to the left of me is that little gap there. Yeah, do it there. And either way it should be covered. I did actually win a match. It was either out of this peg or the peg to my right, fishing this exact method a couple of years ago, which is on the channel somewhere. So I should have probably had a quick look beforehand. But you can see that there is in the flow and there is not in the flow. It's sort of like the same section, so I will be fishing just in the flow today. But the difference between just in it and not in it is only probably about 1.5 foot maybe. Not far, maybe a couple of foot. Should be fine. I reckon any hungry bream is going to be quite happy to stick its head in. And grab the bait. Right, 3 more to go. Intentionally drop one a bit shorter just to move it around, spread it about. Then we'll get going. That one's slightly downstream a bit. Alright, I'm good. Right, let's get a couple of bits of worm on here. Got a load of dendrobrina with me today. It's this type of worm. If I need to, I'll chop some up, but I'm not going to start with. Just going to hook the bait through the head. Nice chunk of worm. Put the rest of it in a pot for chopping later. And I reckon that is a cracking bream bait. So, add some casters. I want some casters. Casters and a few dead maggots maybe. Also want the option to try and catch a perch and you know, that type of stuff, so let's not rule that out. Get that bait in, get that around there. That can go there. As I said, first time of the year, don't give me too much of a hard time. I know you can't see this very well. Now it's really windy. Let's get that pole down there. And we're off. Start with stopwatch. I am now just going to drop that pole rest just a little bit because that wind's just started to get up. And the less pole I've got in the air and the closer it is to the water, the better chances I've got of not having a problem with it. So fish 5 minutes and then we'll do it again. Actually it looks like the river's going from left to right the way the waves are crashing, but this river actually runs right to left, but the wind is going from left to right. Hopefully that picture looks okay. We'll just have to tilt the camera like that and we should be good, and I can get back to say morning to everyone. As I said, signal's not brilliant today, so it might cut out, be a bit choppy, but I thought better a stream than no stream, so let's see how we get on. So now the method's pretty simple. I hold on to the pole, and when the fish pull be on the 8-pound ST, so it's pole, black hydro, 8-pound ST, 0.17 hook length to set the hook. If you don't fish with a heavy elastic, you don't set the hook properly, you get all sorts of problems. The Bream in here average £5 each, so it's absolutely the sort of right gear you want, not messing about, to be able to get these fish in. I'll drop that pole down a little bit more, I think. That looks perfect. Now all I need is a Bream to come along, grab that double dendrobina, turn its head, I'll feel the thump on the end of the pole, strike, £5 fish, that's what we need. That's all we need to happen now. It's just a waiting game. You can actually not hold the pole, you can just watch, but I feel it's a lot easier to just make sure you got your fingers on there. Just put my hands around the pole against, just lay it against, and then it's easy to just lift it up and strike. I could have fished a flat float in the same bit of water today. If you've not seen my floats, a flat float looks like this. It's specially designed, unlike a normal float which would be that way, and the bristle's wrong, because you're in the flow and the rig gets pulled to the left or to the right depending on which way, but here to the left, then actually the float is designed to actually tilt, so then keep the bristle straight, which is a very clever design. And these grooves on the top are there to help it maintain that position in the top of the water. Then when you get a bite, it just goes away like that. It's very clever. There's a 20-gram float, which is probably what I would have used today in the flow. 20 gram, or I've got a 15-gram, one of the two. If you didn't see my post, let's see if I can get out over the holiday period and, you know, actually specifically come flat float fishing. I can do a video on it. Morning, George. Yeah, it could be a bit in and out. If it's too bad, I'll stop the stream, but there's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. My signal's not fantastic here. In which case I'll just end up making a video of the day, but on that topic, I have brought my new Preston trolley out for a run today. I've just made a little video over yesterday and today about what I think of it, so watch out for that on the channel. That's the new Preston 4-wheel shuttle. I brought that out with me today and pushed it through a field, so I'll give you my opinion on that. So I've lost track of time. That's been 6.5 minutes. Oh, don't smash that into your pole. I was specifically thinking then, don't knock the pole with the feeder. I was just watching my phone. I can see that it's a bit laggy. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about that. It's not a great upload speed, and I am denied about it this morning. I thought it was better to try than not try, so I'll keep an eye on it. If it's a disaster, then I'll just cancel it and I'll make a little video for everyone about the day. But we're going to keep putting this in every 5 minutes. I'm going to put in some dead maggot, some caster. I might introduce some live maggot or some pinky later. But it's a big fish day, and that's what I'm setting my stall out for. Hopefully it's going to work. I have some faith. Oh, okay, if it cuts out every now and then we'll be good. Enjoy catching some F1s on dobbing on some bread and some maggot, so we should catch a few fish there. That should be a live stream pretty much, because I will go in a peg specifically where I can get a signal. So if Christmas Day suddenly seems not too interesting, then tune in for a Christmas Day live stream. Boxing Day I'm fishing a match at Tunnel Barn Farm. I'm booked in for that already. So that'll be feeder video, or do some flat float fishing, something like that. And ideally in a peg I can live stream, but let's see. What was that? Just dropped in there at a... I don't know what that was. Yeah, the optonics. As I would call them. Optonics don't work very well on a pole. Although saying that, This is a bit random for you. If you were to go and get a copy of Angler's Mail from, let me think, what was I? 14? 89, maybe a copy of Angler's Mail from 1989. There's a gentleman called Mervyn Chad on the front with a pole that's got a external line, eyes on the pole, and a centre pin reel. And they did this article that Mervyn had eyed up a pole to be able to fish with a centre pin. This was before the days of strong elastics in poles and hollow elastics. And they did this article about Mervyn using this pole that he'd set up and whipped eyes on the external sides of the pole. I never ever saw him use it in real life, but it was in the magazine for the article. I'll try and post a picture of the cover of it now. You've made me think about that. I've got a copy at home purely for the fact that I'm in it. But yeah. I would say Mervyn was one of the early anglers, like pioneering fishing down the edge at Willow Park for tench, crucian and carp. And I know that because I used to sit behind him and watch him do it. He used to fish what we would call a running line, where you would just fish with a 12-foot rod down the edge with a centre pin reel, hook a carp, and then just let it run off instead of trying to stop it. Again, before the days of fishing pole down the edge. You couldn't catch carp that big on poles in those days. Well, you could try. I broke a pole doing it once, but it wasn't recommended. So, lost track of time, busy chatting, 7 minutes. Get that in again. A few more casters. Maybe chuck in some pinkies this time. Oh, that's a bit windy. Don't do that, thanks. Yeah, I want a bit of me says, is that what landed in front of me here? And maybe he's not trying to shoot a bird. Maybe he's trying to shoot me. I don't know. No, there's a I'm trying to think where that is. There's a rifle range on a piece of land, which if I go to the road over there, I think that's on a private piece of land. There's a rifle range, but yeah, if he's trying to shoot some birds, then he's a bit rubbish. Keep going. Come on, I just need it to go thump thump. We have a Bream on the end. What was it? 25 minutes in. I think there's 14 or 15 of us on today. Yeah, it's our Christmas charity match, so we'll take a percentage of the pool's money and we'll give it to a local charity. I can't remember what it is, but we do that. I think it might be a specific charity for the club. Memory is not helping me, but yeah, we do a donation. I'm a bit conscious about how close I am to this tree on this left-hand side. If I got top 4.5 line going down at that angle, could be a bit close to that actually, but got to try and just judge the angle of the line as it enters the water. Maybe it's fine. Because we've had some crayfish trouble, there's like loads of them in the river this year. I won't put any chop worm in until with like 2 hours to go if I'm blanking, and then I'll think about chop worm if you're wondering about that. If I put it in early and crayfish come and settle on it, then it can cause me some problems. The fish just pendulum and it goes. We'd have a shot of the float. Do you want to just do this? So just do that. That's going to work. and I'll hold the pole with my right hand. Hold on, let me get down a little bit. Is that going to work? No, further down. Like there. Is that better? Strike. No, want to buy it. What are we doing? I want to be a serious match angler. Right, 30 minutes in. No news, but I'll tell myself in a minute it's a big river and it might take a bit of time for the bream to move about. And then I'll tell myself, yeah, but I thought they might be in this bit of slack. And if they're not here, then, you know, why are they going to come here? And should I try catching something else? I've got absolute faith in that double dendrobina for catching bream. I know people catch them on single dendrobina and, you know, double, triple caster and stuff like that, but I've had good results fishing double dendrobina for bream in this part of the river, so I'll stick with that. Oh, no, I think maybe it is getting a bit chillier. It's meant to get warmer, but it's getting a bit windier. Might have to go and get my jacket. That's 5 minutes. Yeah, I think it's going to be jacket time. Right, just let me bring that in. Right, just going to get my jacket. The signal drops, I'll have to restart the stream, but should be right. Right, all good. A couple of fresh worms, I reckon. Oh, what I didn't think about was I didn't think about making my jeans filthy with the dirt from the worm. Should have given that some thought. Right, we keep going. This is the plan. Oh, come on, Bream. quite interesting in the river this year. We've had no water at all on this stretch of the river until there was a period of like 2 weeks where there was a little bit of flow, and then that was it, flood. And now it's absolutely belting through, pushing through. Dial pole rest. Yes, but I do have a yes, but the comparison between the Daiwa pole rest and the Preston one, the Daiwa one is more robust, and I did have issues with rivets breaking and stuff like that on my Preston one, but there's a couple of things that I'm not super happy with the Daiwa one, which they need to improve. Firstly, these screws at the bottom, you can unscrew them, right? And you know, when you're fishing like a river or wherever, and you're having to tighten them and untighten them every time you want to lift it and put it off your box, there's a chance you can drop them, and I don't like that. Because if it drops in here, it's gone. So there's that aspect to it, whereas it's just clamps with the Preston one. Now, saying that, with the Preston one, I've clamped and nearly taken, you know, chunks of my check to be able to use the pole rest. It's just too high up in the air. If you imagine I'm 2 meters off the water right now, you know, I don't want this pole 2 meters off the water over there, so you can't aim it down far enough. On the Preston one, because you can adjust it on your legs and you can adjust it on the rest itself, you can get it lower. But it's a very specific use case that I've had an issue with it. As I say, when you're fishing a river and you're way off the water, outside of that, you know, I think I like it. After I tightened it up a little bit more, you know, it's much more steady than the Preston one. So, and I want steady and robust. I don't want flimsy and break. So eventually the Preston one I had to break. I replaced it, but it was still usable, but as I said, I had some issues with some rivets breaking inside of it. So that's why I swapped it out. Morning, Martin, how you doing? River. Did I say rivet? River. It's quite tricky, you know. I'm trying to concentrate on fishing and chatting and keep an eye on the time. I'm working out I'm going to win the match. Don't give me hard time. Right. Right, bag looks alright. Let's just keep this up. I'm not going to change anything for a while. A few pinkies in. think that like hydro stretching, I think, but I don't really know why. I thought it was tight enough. Right. Come on, Bream. Bream or chub. Well, there's some carp in this stretch. I know there's carp in this stretch. I've seen pictures of them being caught. I don't mind. Whatever fancies that double worm. £5 perch. That'll be alright. Any of that'll do today. Now I do know that Brian to my right was fishing a massive lump of cheese paste. And he was going to chuck that around for an hour. See if he could catch a chub, and he's not caught one yet, not that I know about. Actually, it's not Brian. I get names mixed up. That's Mick. Silly question. Are you using a feeder float? Are you using the feeder as the float will wander too much, or is it because the temperature is a bit of a to bait to the bottom, and I stick a 40-gram feeder on, and if I think that the angle's not quite too right, then I can stick a 55-gram feeder on that's going to go down closer to the pole tip. That's it. Right. The other thing is, I think the bites are more. I think the bites are more recognisable on the pole feeder because everything's tight. So you know, my pole, my line to the feeder is tight. You can see my elastics coming out the end of my pole, so that's tight. And then I'm happy that it's tight to the bait as the bait's going downstream in the flow, right? So, brilliant way to fish. The other thing about the pole feeder is I'm more comfortable that I'm being accurate with the bait. Much more comfortable. And I'm able to constantly introduce bait every single chuck, which is what I want to do at this time of the year. If I only wanted to fish short, I wouldn't fish a pole feeder. I'd fish a flat float. You could, that said, you know, people like fishing flat floats at this distance. But I just think at this time of the year, I want to keep putting bait in. So I want that feeder to go in every 5 minutes, and you know, maybe that helps me get rid of some problems if I haven't fed quite in the right place, or you know, those balls are in the wrong spot because I'm constantly putting bait in. You know, maybe that helps sort that out for me. I have fish flat float, I don't mind it, but if I've got to sit here and sit it out for bream, my preference is the pole feeder. It might just be personal preference though, no more scientific than that. Hope that helps. Right, let's keep going. It's just up to the hour. There's no bites, no indications, no fish. I'm positive about the method though, fishing the pole feeder with a double dendrobina. And I'm quite happy to do this for 3 hours before I change anything. Just keep putting some bait in. Might change a little bit before that, but I'm happy to carry on doing this, it's not a problem. I'm looking for bream today or a chub. I think this is the best way to try and catch one, so I'm going to stick with it and see how I get on. Just so enjoying it, and just please give me a like, I'd appreciate it. It's great for visibility, and you can always chat amongst yourselves about actually catching fish. Drop that a little bit further. I don't want to drop it further because I'm going to put that elastic in, and I want to, that's not my ideal, but the more that wind gusts, the more I want that pole lower to the water, where you're less impacted. Yeah, I know a lot of people like fishing the lollipop, as it were, but you can't put bait in every chuck when you're fishing a lollipop. If I was maybe fishing, I don't know, for roach or perch, maybe I would think about it a little bit more, that would be more suitable, you know. But I'm not. I'm sitting out for £5 slabs. Not catching any, but that is the plan. Do you know what I mean? I saw the big one show in Farnborough. Tickets have gone on sale for that, so whilst that event continues to get dominated by carp angling, I think I will go this year and have a little look and a cup of tea, a little wander around. Even if that's just look at some predator stuff, I think. Not that I've managed to get out. I think my pike fishing season's been one session. Now the river's flooded. I need to start a little bit earlier next year, I think. Best intentions and all that. I don't think that's right, Neil. Flat float more sensitive. If a fish grabs that double worm and even thinks about turning its head, I will feel it on this pole, I can tell you. That red kite was on that branch. The tree branch just snapped and gone in the river. Wow. I tell you what, there's a thing, right? If the branch falls and there's no one to hear it, does it make a noise? Yes, the red kite heard it. Never seen that before. Yeah, I don't think it's more sensitive. We could debate that for a while. Maybe someone, you know, maybe it's a fair discussion point. But I fished this before, pole feeder, and ended up catching roach and stuff. You can feel them immediately. But either way, if I was fishing a flat float today, or if I was fishing a pole feeder today, if I'm hooking a £5 bream, you're gonna know about it. Do you know what I mean? You are gonna know about it. This is on a £8 Dyer ST main line, and my flat floats are rigged up to 021 reflow power line, which I think is £7.5, something like that. 021 reflow power is £8 15 ounces actually, so it's heavier. But let's see. I was going to have a flat float for trying to catch a few roach and stuff, and then the pole feeder long, but I wanted more flow on the inside for that. Not this slack. I don't think anything's in this slack, by the way. Maybe some pike. Right in front of me, I think there might be some pike. There could be the odd tiny fish. Or maybe I should, you know, just have bought a rig to chuck a few maggots, and then, you know, just down here, because I see that the flow's not really flowing, but I'm quite confident that someone's going to catch a bream along the stretch, so you got to catch bream. I could be wrong. A few logs coming down the river. I guess it's the same as that tree over there, just gives up the ghost at some point. do, do. Come on, Bream. So just while we wait, usual reminder, if you're enjoying the content and you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I've cleared 2,000 people now, and it helps with visibility for the channel. It gives it a little bit of credibility. So if you are enjoying it, please hit that subscribe button and turn the notifications on with the little bell, and then you'll get a notification when I go live and make a new post, and that type of stuff. So please do that. If you are already subscribed, then you know you're totally awesome, and thank you for that. I do make the odd post on the little post section, so you'll get notification of that type of stuff too when there's something going on fishing related, if I'm not out on the bank. Change this feeding pattern. That's an hour gone of mostly 5 minutes casts. I've picked that leaf up on the way back. Starting to have a little think about that type of stuff. Most of my good days on the pole feeder have been relatively quickly, I think. I've said before, I need to just go back and check that old videos about when I catch, when I'm setting it out like this. I didn't catch in the last hour, for example. Yeah, maybe everyone else doesn't like it now. That is a possibility. But yeah, if you're enjoying the stream, then please hit the like button. That sort of interaction all helps YouTube think it's a stream worth showing to other people. So either now or afterwards when I publish it, so other people can see it later on. Just going to keep going, I think. Yeah, entertaining. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, 30,000 people on TikTok enjoyed watching the video of my pole snapping. So yeah, I guess so. I think about moments like this, what have we had? We've had pole snap. I've got to be careful today actually. I've had pole snap, that's happened. I've snapped my landing net. The top end of it after bumping a Bream, £5 Bream on a bump bar. 4 sections of pole go, 2 sections of pole gone in the lake while I'm playing a fish, and I decided to prioritise netting the fish versus getting the pole. What else have we done? I think they're the main ones. Pole in lake, snap pole, snap landing net. So last couple of weeks ago I went to Gold Valley, I snapped my landing net head. That broke with a 14-pound carp in it. Been a few breakages for sure. I've trodden on a number 4 twice, I think. I don't think that's made the videos though. Just been untidy when I've been packing up, just crunched some pole sections. I'm really unhappy with that wind. Yeah, a little bit of wind. Yeah, it's all about patience today. Confidence in what I'm doing. got that. We'll put chopped worm in later, but not now. Oh. Keep going. Any joy, Mick? Did you? Is it on the cheese paste? On? Oh, right, okay. It's just... So he's had a couple of little knocks on worm and maggot. He's moved off the cheese paste, but he's not putting it very far out either. Maybe he's sort of same as me, if not less. I suspect I could get a roach if I sat down there with double maggot, but I just not what I want right now. So let's keep going as planned. Keep going. those bream to smell that ground bait, move up the river, and settle where I am. I had to catch £100 of bream. Come on. Talk of fish on the hook here, I think. That's what I need to do. Oh, it's going to have a couple of chucks on single dendrobina, I think. But I want a bigger one than that. Cut it a little bit longer. Maybe some pinkies in that ground bait mix.